Hey Dadpreneurs, so in this video I'm going to share with you how we got 30 people to come to a karaoke using Facebook events. So about a week and a half ago, about 2 weeks ago, we launched ads for a church. They were doing Christian karaoke. They've never done Christian karaoke. It was for Saturday, October 7th, I think it was. And so we launched some ads advertising to people who like Christian music. It was pretty broad targeting. I'm going to dive in and show you the exact targeting, the exact ad, everything. But we had a lot of success. Actually, we're very, very happy with it. And so was the church. They were really happy with the results. And I was kind of blown away because I've never done Facebook events before. I don't think I've ever even created one. I certainly never ran ads to one. But so anyways, we created this ad and we went broad at first. We did Christian music. And I think Christian was the interest, pretty broad, and then we picked like, I don't know, 8 or 10 zip codes in Las Vegas around the church, a pretty wide radius, actually. It was a pretty wide radius. And then we kind of dialed in some ads, a couple ad sets that I did a little bit more detailed targeting. I'm going to break it all down, how I do my targeting with like a spreadsheet, how I recommend you do the targeting as well. But like I said, we had 30 people show up to the karaoke on that first Saturday. They're going to be doing it every Saturday night from, I think it's like 8 to 11. Had 30 people show up the first time, which was awesome. Unfortunately, we got lazy with the ads, I'll admit. We let the same ad run because it was working. Obviously, it was working. 30 people showed up. Last Saturday, 3 days ago, unfortunately, only one person from the Facebook ad showed up. So, want to share the good with the bad. We're not always hitting grand slams here. Sometimes you kind of strike out or hit a little grounder to first, I guess you could say. So, this week we are testing. Setting up a new image, new ads, new creative to test it out to see if we can get back to that first. We almost set expectations too high with the 30. Sometimes that happens, so they were expecting maybe 40 to 45 the second week. So when they got one, it was a pretty big disappointment. Luckily, they had quite a few people from their church actually show up this second Saturday, so it wasn't empty or anything like that. But so we're trying to promote, we took some videos of people singing karaoke from last Saturday, some pictures. We're sharing it in like the event. It's almost like a group where you got like group discussion and things like that. So just to kind of get them excited, and then it notifies the 200 plus people that showed interest. They get notifications when we're sharing that, which we didn't do a good job previous to this week. We didn't really share anything in the event, in the group. We didn't share anything. So we're going to try to build some excitement this week with past videos, past pictures. Hey, everyone had a good time. People are commenting on the videos and the pictures in the event. So let's dive right in, and I will show you the exact ads, the targeting, how I set up all my targeting, really for anything, just about local businesses. Sometimes I don't do it, but if it's for e-commerce, if it's for selling online products, a church event like this, how I kind of break down the categories, and I use like a little spreadsheet, and you can just kind of copy what I do. I learned it from someone years and years ago, and it works out quite well because I like to split up the ad sets to see which ones are working, which ones are not working, and how I kind of group the interests together. So let's dive right in. All right, so as you can see, here we are in the dashboard of my Facebook ads account and the church's account here. So what we did is we started off with this one. I'll click here and just kind of show you the initial campaign, which was this bottom one here. Set it for a lifetime budget of $100. I think it ran for about 3 or 4 days. Let me just switch the columns here. There we go. And so event responses. So this, again, I'll show you the ad here in a minute, was getting people to come to the karaoke event. And so we had 84 responses. We paid about $1.19 per response, which wasn't, which actually, if you look at it, it wasn't too bad. And this was very broad targeting. I'll click edit and open this up. I think this was men and women. Let's just kind of scroll down. A bunch of different zip codes. It was 25 to 55. Yep, men and women. People who were interested in Christian music or contemporary Christian music. And we ran it on the news feed, mobile, and desktop. As you can see, potential reach was about 32,000 people. And then what I did here is, let me just filter by selection. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit deeper. So after kind of running a broad one like that, I kind of typically like to start broad just to kind of see who engages with it, who reacts to it. And what I like to do is go to breakdown, and you go down to by delivery, and then you can sort by, just move this here. You You can sort by all kinds of different things. So age and gender, location, country, region. As you can see, different platforms, you know, if it's mobile, desktop. And so what we did is looked at age. And as you can see here, 25 to 34, all three of these were pretty comparable. As you can see, these two are the exact same at 28 and 28, and then 23. So 25 to 54 were the people engaging. And then we looked at gender, and look at the difference here. As to be expected, though. Female was 78, and male was only 6. So what we did is after this campaign, or after this ad set expired, this one ended, we ended up going with a, there we go, I ended up splitting them out into different ad sets, and as you can see, we did it not, the North Las Vegas, that was the area it was in, the zip codes. It was all the same zip codes, but then we broke it down by pastors, and then also, as you can see, we did 30 to 65, and we only did women, and only on mobile devices. Let me go back real quick here to show you the breakdown by device. I forgot to show you that part. So it is by platform right here. Nope, I'm sorry, not platform. Placement. I always get those two confused. So as you can see, desktop, we only had 3 people respond, and then 81 on mobile. So the male and the female was drastically different. Mobile and desktop was drastically different. That is why going forward, I ended up only, let's turn that off real quick. That is why I only went with the women and also just mobile news feed, is I guess I should say. So here is that one, the Las Vegas pastors, and we'll hit edit. And people who match, these were the interests we targeted: John F. MacArthur, Paula White, Joyce Mayer, Kenneth Copeland, or Charles Swindoll. So if they liked any of those 5 or 6 different interests, if they are women, 25 to 65 living in this area, as you can see, it's a much smaller audience. It's 3,400. The results were, we paid 93 cents per event response. So this was the winning ad set. You could say we got the best bang for our buck. Not sure how many of these people showed up to the event. We didn't track that. You can do that with offline conversions and that. We did not do that. And I'm not even too familiar. I'm not the best with the offline conversions. I'm very new to it. So at least response-wise, this was the best cost per response. It was a little under $1. Next one was musicians. Just click edit here. Same thing, the women, same zip code, same ages, just different interests. So here were the interests that we target here. These are Christian musicians. As you can see, the potential reach is about 3,000 people. Again, a much smaller audience. We'll minimize that, and we paid about $1.23 per event response. And then the next one we did Joel Osteen. I think he was the only one. Edit. Yes, right here, Joel Osteen. Again, same zip codes, women. This was 25 to 65. I think I have that up there. Whoops, I put 30 up here, so actually it was 25, so that was a mistake. Potential reach was 4,800, so a little bit bigger than the other 2 audiences. But as you can see, it didn't. It was $1.66 per response, so I ended up turning that ad set off. So how I do my targeting, this is how I've done it for, God, I think since I started this in 2014 or 15. And I learned it from someone. I'm not saying I came up with it, but I like to break it down and I like to group interests together. So as you can see, this is one of the ad sets. This was the musicians. And then I just ask people, you can do a Google search as well, what type of Christian musicians. And a lot of times when you start entering them in Facebook, they'll give you suggested interests, and then you just have to make sure they're under the musicians category. I'm not big into the church, the Christian. I just started going to church, actually. I've been twice in the last 3 weeks, first time in 10 plus years. So I'm not too familiar with the pastors, the musicians. Joel Osteen, of course, I know, but I'm not familiar with this stuff. So this is kind of how I break it down. So this would be like ad set number 1, for example, ad set number 2, ad set number 3, ad set number 4, and then ad set number 5.
And that's how I like to kind of just break up the targeting. And I do this, like I said, with any type of e-commerce product, selling a digital product. Don't really do it with like a local business. You don't really have to do it local business. You can typically do a radius around their building, 5, 7, maybe even 10 miles, and then also do like a couple different interests for like loan officers. You could do first-time home buyer, things like that, getting out of debt. You could do debt relief and credit card relief, things like that. So I don't really do it with local businesses, but e-commerce, digital products, events like this, it works very, very well. And the reasoning behind this is I like to see, as you can tell, go back and I can see which ones, you know, the pastor's ones, 93 cents. That was a good one. The musician's one, $1.23. Joel Osteen, again, the $1.66. And then this broad targeting was actually the second best one, which is kind of surprising. When you get, let me see the audience size. I want to say that was in the 50,000. 32,000. So much, much bigger audience. Sometimes when you get that tighter audience, the costs are typically higher. When you're advertising to 3,000 people, that's a very, very small audience. I think that's it. That's kind of what I wanted to show you, but kind of breaking it up like this, you know, just kind of coming up, you know, you could do authors, you know, if you're selling some type of a physical product, even if you're selling some type of a digital product, you could do authors, you could do books possibly, you could do associations, you know, that might apply. But I like to kind of just group them and have them kind of in the same category, just to see which ad sets are converting and which ones are not. So let's go a little bit further because we let this run last week and see how it did last week. See how the numbers are. So as you can see, ad fatigue, that's kind of the problem with such a small, tight audience. These top two right here, these were around 3,000. These people probably saw the ad. The frequency is 1.6. Hey, not horrible. So what that means is the person saw this ad 1.6 times. This person saw it 1.72 times. So really, actually, that's not that bad of a frequency. But again, with the smaller audience, as you can see, the costs definitely increased. This one doubled. This one doubled, and this one damn near doubled, went over $2. So, but again, like I said in the earlier in the video, I got lazy with it. Didn't switch up the creative. Didn't switch up any of the images. We just used one image, one creative. So, got lazy with it because we saw such good results. The first go around, it was kind of like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's exactly what I did. But like I said, we didn't get the best response the second go around. So we're tweaking it this week and hoping to have better results than this past week. So that's it. Use the Facebook events. They're very, very powerful. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever ran advertising to it, and I'm very, very happy with these results of 30 people showing up the first week. Unfortunately, only one person showing up that second week. But test out the Facebook events. You can do small events. You know, if you're a local business, you know, like a loan officer, you could bring 8 to 10 people, and you could share news about the industry. If you're a real estate agent, you could do the same thing. If you're B2B, it can work very well. Get 8 or 10 people, and then you're the person that's hosting the party or hosting the event. You know, now you've got a captive audience. You know, you're the leader. You're hosting the event, and a lot of times you can get book out spaces for an hour or two for usually less than $100. Sometimes you can barter it, or you know, you'll say you'll promote the business or whatnot if it's an office space. Sometimes you can get it for free. I know there's a wine store here in town called Total Wine, and they actually have little rooms, and they will let you book the room. I think it's like 2 hours for completely free, and they're like nice rooms with desks, and I think they have like a TV screen on the wall. You know, you can plug your laptop in. So Facebook events are very, very powerful. So try it out, follow kind of along what I did, and let me know how it goes. Post in the comments down below. So, hey, if you're a dadpreneur or aspiring dadpreneur, if you like this kind of content, hit that red subscribe button with that little bell notification so you get a little bit of little alert when I have a video come up. You'll get a notification in the top right corner of your screen. If you have any comments, if you use Facebook events, please, if you got any tips, tricks, strategies, like I said, I'm still a Facebook events virgin, so I'm all ears and would love to learn any tips and tricks you got. So post them down in the comments below. Thank you.